discussing the heavyweight division. Let's first welcome the undefeated challenger, Frazier the Eraser Clarke.
Clarke was dropped in their first fight, had a point deducted for a low blow, and still did enough to get the draw. What do you want to see from him tonight? What does he have to do, Darren, to get the victory?
Do you know what? I think that he's got the better boxing skill. You'd have to say that from his days as an amateur, former Olympian. So he needs to be busy behind the jab. But what I'd like to see him do more of is fully rotate through the shots. Try and put a dent through Wardley. Everyone going into this fight saying that it's Wardley the puncher, and you would have to agree the way he was dropped in that first fight. But when you look at the size of Frazier Clarke, you know that he must be able to really punch if he was to believe in his power. But sometimes I think, and this can happen when you've stayed in the amateurs for a certain amount of time, you look to throw the shot and not get countered, so you don't really fully rotate. But this is professional boxing now. You need to put a dent in your opponent.
Yeah, a couple things I'm looking for. Conditioning for one with Frazier Clarke. I mean, I thought he got most of the final few rounds of that first fight, but this is going to be a war of attrition in a fight like this, so I hope he came into this fight in as good or better condition than he was in the first time around. Also, that jab, Darren, have you seen the nose of Fabio Wardley all week long? The nose that was busted up so badly months ago. That thing has not fully healed. There's no way that could have healed properly. You can still see the scar tissue on the bridge of that nose. So if I'm Frazier Clarke, I'm firing that jab off early, and I'm trying to make a mess of that nose right away.
Frazier Clarke recently spent some time in the gym with Lennox Lewis, who told Clarke that he's been very impressed by what he's seen, but to win this fight, he has to do better with his jab. You agree with that, Barry?
Yes, I do, but I think what's important for him is to stay out the way of that right hand of Fabio Wardley, and that's just if he can get a little roll to his left, he not only gets out the way of that right hand, he got the time and the space to throw the left hook, which is also a good point for Frazier Clarke.
And now let's welcome to the ring the undefeated defending champion, Fabio Wardley.
Well, he's got the gladiator mentality and the gladiator garb, and 58% of you think that Fabio Wardley will get the job done here against Frazier Clarke. He dropped him, but couldn't put him away. Can he do it tonight?
Yeah, and look, that's the reason I feel that he has the higher win percentage, because he was the one that hurt the other guy. And can he do that again? Can he be a bit more thoughtful in his work? He was a little reckless last time, but it was his first true, real test, you could say. He'd been in with David Adelaide and a few others, but I think this guy here, Frazier Clarke, who's looking at us in the ring, was a real challenge. A big guy who knows how to fight, a lovely jab. So Fabio Wardley, look, having spoke to him, he said, look, I'm going to approach this fight exactly the same way. That's how I know this is going to be a war again. It's so intriguing.
I don't think he changes. I don't think he can change. He fights the way he fights. He drags you into a war, and he makes you fight his fight. That's his superpower. The only thing he can learn from is the punch that knocked Frazier Clarke down was a straight right. He loops his right hand over the top. If he can get that a little bit more, a little more turn from the shoulders, he might be more effective. But apart from that, he's doing what he always does.
Here's Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a rematch scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the British Commonwealth and WBA Continental Heavyweight Championships. Brought to you by RIYADH Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA. With Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Gold Star Promotions, Boxer and Sella, along with their great sponsors. Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudia Airlines, New Muraba Development Company, and Lucid Motors. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, Steward in Charge Guy Williamson, MBE, along with the World Boxing Association. President Gilberto Mendoza Jr., Supervisor Carlos Chavez, CBC Supervisor Debbie Down. Our 3 judges assigned, all from England, will be Mark Bates, Steve Gray, and John Latham. Our referee in charge, 3rd man in the ring, will be Victor Laughlin of Scotland. Introducing to you first the challenger, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing black trunks with white and weighed in officially at 271.3 pounds. Coming to us from Burton-on-Trent, Staffordshire, England, a 2020 Olympic bronze medalist. He is now undefeated as a professional with 8 wins, 1 draw, 6 of his 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Frazier the Eraser Clarke. And his opponent across the ring, he is a defending champion, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He comes to the ring wearing green camouflage trunks and weighed in officially at 241.6 pounds. Hailing from Ipswich, England, he is undefeated with 17 wins, 1 draw, 16 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending British, Commonwealth, and WBA Continental Heavyweight Champion, Fabio Wardley.
Okay, boys, you've had your instructions. Remember, obey my commands at all time. Defend yourselves at all time. Both belt lines are fine. Anything below this will be regarded as low. Best of luck. God bless. Touch gloves.
Well, 7 months ago, they competed in an incredible all-action fight of the year contender. Now the rematch. Dare we expect another thriller? Frazier Clarke versus Fabio Wardley. Here we go.
We're going to see who will get the rhythm first with that jab. Fabio Wardley, I'd like to say he neglected it in the first fight. Frazier Clarke, I mean, you'd have to argue that that is his best shot. So who can find the range? Who can get the rhythm with that shot? And that's going to help them find their right hand.
Great! I'm go.
Clarke doubled the jab, he had great success. He brought the uppercut behind it.
Great! I'm up.
Several times, and that was his best punch of the first fight.
That's the voice of Andy Lee joining us here ringside. I'm Todd Grisham, next to Darren Barker and Barry Jones. Barry, who do you have as the favorite here?
It's a difficult. You think that the most adaptable should be the better boxing brain, the better skill, and that surely is Frazier Clarke, right? I'm still thinking that Wardley will drag him into that war, and I thought Frazier won the first fight actually, but it was close. But I thought he did enough. But I think Wardley might just be able to dog it out again this time.
If and when Wardley gets Clarke hurt, like he did in the first fight, good jab there from Clarke. He has to keep his composure.
Yeah.
I think he's inexperienced. Good jab, double jab, right hand from Clarke. It's been a good, positive start from Clarke.
Yeah, a bit patient as well, isn't it?
Yeah. If Wardley gets him hurt, he's got to be composed, not rush his work, and not punch himself out. For Clarke, is to keep it a technical contest. Don't mix it too much. Don't try and bang with the banger. keep it a boxing match. Make Wardley move his feet, because Wardley, due to his inexperience as an amateur boxer, no amateur experience, he can't punch and move with his feet at the same time. He has to be set to punch. You'll see he holds his feet a lot, but when he moves his feet, he's not half as effective.
But the problem is with Wardley, he will commit to an attack. I mean, and he will lose his shape and he will swing. That's just the way he does it.
That's the
What happens when he lands? Wardley already has
He's gotta stay
Frazier Clarke
composed.
in trouble downstairs and upstairs.
He's got to keep his composure now. This is the important moment for Wardley. He's just been hurt himself.
Uppercut
With a left
from
hook, yeah. He's got to keep his composure now, Wardley.
Oh. They called this round 13. They're picking up where they left off, and down goes Clarke.
Huge right hands.
He
He's
doesn't
gone.
look good.
His feet are no good. His feet are no good.
It's over. Round 1 KO. Fabio Wardley's done it.
First round destruction of Frazier Clarke. Fabio Wardley, take a bow. That was impressive.
That's what we want to see. Heavyweight boxing, knockouts.
Do you know what? He commits to every attack. But again, there's that looping right hand of his. Every time he lets it go, and we spoke about that before the fight about Clarke having to roll underneath it if he could, but he got caught again. And then, as you said, he didn't really take his time like he should have, but he's a great finisher, and he doesn't left you off the hook. And he's been saying that all week.
It only takes one in the heavyweight division, and it was Frazier Clarke who got on the receiving end of a massive right hand.
Emmanuel Stewart would always say to me, try your man in the first round, because they haven't warmed up physically and they haven't adapted or adjusted to the punches being punched yet. So you're at your most vulnerable in your first round. And that was the first real significant shot Wardley threw, and it got the job done.
Huge statement. That is going to turn a lot of heads. That is a massive, massive victory. Not just the opponent, the scalp, but the manner in which he has won there. First round destruction of Frazier Clarke. I mean, what next for Fabio Wardley, Barry?
But because of his athleticism, when he throws a shot, he gets all his body into it because he's just so smooth with his movement. What's next for him? You know, you say, no, this is the British level. No, they're skipping British, the world level. He will get a world rating. He's a way off, I think, for those group of world-class fighters. But there's a European level to go for, and I think, you know, he's a real exciting fight for a fighter who's still learning. Let's be honest, Andy's still learning his trade.
Yep, still learning his trade. But what he has, he's got that X factor. He's got ability and talent, and he's obviously a quick learner, because he's picked up he's no amateur experience. It's extraordinary to become British champion and have a first-round knockout like this. He's beaten already David Adelaide, who's a good contender himself. This guy's got the X factor. He can go really far.
He has something that you can't teach. He's fearless.
Yeah, no fear.
I mean, you can't give that to anybody. You've got it or you haven't.
And remember this, guys, he only sparred for the first time at age 20, so he's going to get better and better every fight he has.
He has absolutely no right to be putting in performances like that, and that's where it shows he's obviously hard-working, he has natural talent, and carries ridiculous power in that right hand of his.
And also, Todd, you say that, even though he's had wars, he's relatively fresh. Because you haven't had, like we had, the long amateur careers when we were 10 years of age. He started when he was sparring when he was 20.
And they're still tending to Frazier Clarke in the corner. That's how massive a shot that was from Fabio Wardley, who is now 18-0-1 with 17 KOs. And he said coming into this fight, his big quote was, "I want to take his head off his shoulders," and he nearly did it, Andy.
Yeah, he nearly did it. Nice to see Clarke getting the treatment and the time, that he's not being rushed out of the ring here, because that was a heavy punch. And I still don't, he probably doesn't know where he is at the moment. He's probably realizing what happened in the fight. That really, when you get hit with a punch like that, it just scrambles your senses.
But he knew enough not to get up. You know, when he was on his knee, he knew he was unsteady. Yeah, he knew it, didn't he? He knew it.
Had he got up, he wouldn't have gone. Yeah.
But he knew that much, I think.
Great respect between them. Listen, this fight could have been completely different, but he just got caught with that punch so early. And that's the beauty of heavyweight boxing, but it's also if you're on the losing side, it's the bad side of it as well.
So they've had two fights. One a fight of the year contender, an absolute war of attrition, and then a devastating knockout like that. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And for this guy who literally was a white-collar boxer, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a bit of a chess match to start with. The first few seconds, no one really establishing anything, and it was just a big, wide overhand right from Wardley, and you can see it scrambled the senses of Frazier Clarke. The legs were there, and you felt here he may just slightly have recovered. He was trying to fire back with a little left hook, the right uppercut, then there was another right hand that completely took everything away from Frazier Clarke, and you could see the eyes there. And
he gets a free shot when he turned on the corner. When he turns around, if he wouldn't turn around, the referee has to say break. When he didn't turn around, he had a free shot there for a second there, Wardley, and that probably finished it. He probably keep composed. He used the ropes as a little bit of a stool there, just to sort of keep it composed. And then he lands a lovely uppercut here, and you think, hang on a minute, it's going to turn.
One bad mistake is not being able to clinch. He should have clinched and held on for dear life.
Wow.
Just couldn't get himself
sharp.
organised. Good call by Victor Loughlin, the referee there. He had to stop it. He was over anyway. He had to stop it.
Huge statement. Massive win that for Fabio Wardley.
Oh, look at that. So, again, it's his favourite shot. You have to study that, you know, and know that's coming. You've done 12 rounds before with him.
And he's so unorthodox because he's a novice, you could say, in comparison to the pedigree that Frazier Clarke has. Frazier Clarke's used to fighting people with very good fundamentals, straight shots. So when you've got someone like Fabio Wardley who's throwing shots from all angles, you don't really know how to prepare for that. Incredible finish.
Wow. Fabio Wardley. He made it look easy. The biggest win of his life by far, and now, where does he go from here? The biggest stage in boxing, RIYADH season, and Fabio Wardley stands tall after knocking out Frazier Clarke in round 1. You look good, don't worry, kid, as he winks at the camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 28 seconds of round number 1. Our referee in charge, Victor Loughlin, waves off the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and still British Commonwealth and WBA Continental Heavyweight Champion, Fabio Wardley.
Well, RIYADH season presents Latino Night with another star-studded card, topped by the Cruiserweight Unification Clash between Zurdo Ramirez and Chris Billiams Smith. That's November 16th, live on DAZN.